told you there was an easy way to get rid of lipomas. Here are 7 tips for lipomas, and number 7 is my all-time favorite. You've probably heard me say before. Okay, tip number 1 is to regulate your blood glucose levels. You've got to fix something called insulin resistance. Now, yes, I do have other videos on this, but so this is really important to balance your blood glucose levels because that seems to be implicated with the insulin levels and the development of lipomas. Tip number 2 is to fix your leptin resistance. Now, usually it's the leptin resistance that happens first before developing the insulin resistance. And I do have other tips about leptin resistance in my latest book. You can learn more there, and I have other videos on that. One of my tips, of course, with leptin resistance is to try not to eat after the sun has set. That's going to be important for your proper leptin signaling as you're sleeping and for all those feedback loops for leptin in terms of your hunger and your satiety and your insulin balance as well. Okay, tip number 3 for lipomas is to consider doing a full body detox. So what does this mean? Well, I like to use herbal medicines, and I have a whole group of them that I use together in combination, and making sure that we are actually asking our organ system, so our liver, our lungs, being a full body detox, really addressing all of the internal organs or emunctories to ask them to be a little bit more efficient at dumping those toxins. And yes, we are all exposed to different toxin levels on a daily basis. It's just a good idea, in my opinion, to do a full body detox 3 to 4 times a year to always stay ahead of that toxicity. Okay, tip number 4 for lipomas is to mix some castor oil with some frankincense essential oil. Now this is a fantastic combination. The recipe is 1 to 2 drops of frankincense in a teaspoon of a good high quality hexane-free castor oil. Now we know that frankincense has the ability, plus castor oil, to actually break things down. And the castor oil penetrates very deeply, and that's one of the reasons why the castor oil can actually pull that frankincense oil into where that lipoma is and help to dissolve it. Now you do have to be consistent with this. It may take a few months, it may take up to a year, but consistently applying those 1 to 2 drops of frankincense in your castor oil to your lipoma is a great natural thing that you can do to help to shrink it and eventually get rid of that lipoma. Okay, tip number 5 is to drink some apple cider vinegar. So the acetic acid in apple cider vinegar can help with the proper absorption of your nutrients. So doing this either right before or right after a meal. This is a fantastic way to ensure proper digestion and absorption of your food, but some studies have also shown that it can help with weight loss. And we know with lipomas, there's an extra fat deposit there. So the apple cider vinegar can be a great tool that you're adding to your daily routine to help with those lipomas. Okay, tip number 6 is to take some omega-3 fatty acids. So either eating them in your food, so increasing your seafood consumption, but also the anti-inflammatory effects of those omega-3s, especially your DHA and EPA, can be fantastic with any type of growth in the body. Now with lipomas, that is a fat growth, but that DHA we tend to be more deficient in, so making sure that you're getting enough is going to be really important. Some people do like to supplement again with a high quality DHA supplement, which may be, you know, a better way to get some of those omega-3s without having to worry about some of the contamination issues that we find in a lot of fish and seafood. Okay, tip number 7, which you've probably heard me talk about before if you've watched my other videos, is to follow Mother Nature's prescription. So what does this mean? This means fixing your circadian rhythms, fixing your circadian biology. And that's important with any type of growth in the body, with lipomas as well, that the body has become out of balance with nature perhaps. And finding that balance again, getting your internal environment in sync with your external environment becomes really important. And of course I share more of those tips in my latest book, The Lost Medicine, so you can learn more about syncing your circadian rhythms with your environment. Now I also talk about leptin resistance in my book, so you can learn more about that, but you can also watch this video, 10 tips to fix leptin resistance. I'll see you there.